Got my wee cut in half by a garbage disposal. But at least I still have 5 inches left. Hey folks, I am Apu. It was Christmas night. As usual, I was all alone. My wife decided she wanted to spend Christmas doing yoga at her yoga instructor's house. Well, I was sitting there, drinking the night away, when I decided to cook some food. Of course, it was a delicious turkey. So I finished up cooking and started cleaning up. I put some food down the garbage disposal. There was something about that sound that made me feel some type of way. I just couldn't help turning it off and back on so I could hear it again and again. But this time, I actually resisted for a few minutes. I forgot about it entirely until the final time. I just got so excited that I couldn't help it anymore. I pulled down my zipper, dropped the pants, and got to work. Obviously, it ended up chopping my pecker in half. Luckily, I still have 5 inches left, so that's a plus. Anyway, this leads me to Apu's life lesson number 420. Never put your wee in foreign places. You might end up with half a pecker like me. Merry Christmas, folks, and stay safe. I got railed to death by a horse. Hey folks, I'm Apu. One night me and the boys were having some fun after the wife and kids went to bed. We started off by drinking and getting a little crazy. One thing led to another. One of us said, "You guys wanna get weird?" Next thing I remember is waking up outside of a hospital going in and out of consciousness. My friends just left me out to die. Doctors were clueless as to what happened to me. Their only explanation was that I had an ungodly amount of the horse's love juice inside my rectum at the time of my passing. When my friends and I said, "You guys wanna get weird?" we weren't lying. Zeke's longtime horse named Comet always had a special connection to us. We would take turns with it and just have a good time. But that night things got out of hand and it led to my death. I don't regret our decision that night, or any nights for that matter. There were many beautiful experiences filled with love and passion. Now I can look down on Comet and know that all he wanted to do was give me his love. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 932. Never get railed to death by a horse. Stay safe out there, folks. My wife's yoga instructor ran me over with his car and killed me. Hey folks, I am Apu. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that I recently found out what was happening between my wife and her yoga instructor. Oh, she was doing yoga, alright. But not the yoga you might think. She has been over there since Thanksgiving. I thought she was just super dedicated to her yoga because she has been taking thousands of dollars from the bank account and sending it to her yoga instructor named Tyrone. Well, long story short, I went over there to ask Tyrone if he could teach me yoga as well and walked in on them doing yoga with no clothes on. I was furious. I tried stopping them and started yelling at them, but Tyrone is a very muscular man and I could not compete. So I started running away as he started attacking me. I made it outside and tried to get inside my car. That was when I realized I forgot my keys inside on Tyrone's desk. I started running down the street and saw Tyrone going 80 miles per hour down the street. I stood no chance against his Hummer. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 102. If your wife is at her yoga instructor's house for days on end, she's probably doing more than just yoga. Stay safe out there, folks.
Me and Alpha King Joey got revenge on my wife's yoga instructor. Hey folks, I am Apu. I'm sure you all heard what happened between my wife and her yoga instructor. He also decided to run me over with his car. I finally got tired of being the one who is always suffering. So I called up my lifelong friend and mentor, Grandpa Joey, also known as Alpha King Joey. I've known Grandpa Joey since I was a child, after my parents abandoned me. He has taught me everything I know, and many life lessons which I pass on to you all. He was the one who inspired me to put my wee in an electrical socket, and even the one who taught me it was okay to show my love to the Thanksgiving turkey. Now it's time to introduce you all to Grandpa Joey to finish the story.
Nice to meet you all. My name is Grandpa Joey. Now I can't speak for Apu, but my number one life lesson is don't ever with my little Apu. When I heard what Tyrone did, I was not going to let that slide. We took a couple shots and head on over to Tyrone's house. Once we got there, we tied him up and hopped into Apu's spaceship to finish the job. I won't go into the details because you'd likely delete your app if you heard it with your own ears. Needless to say, he is dealt with. If you want to hear Grandpa Joey's Alpha King rules, go ahead and follow my new account.
Alpha King Joey shit on my toilet seat. But I don't mind. Hey folks, I am Apu. A lot of people have been commenting telling me what Alpha King Joey did to me. I saw the video he posted. I was shocked to hear it, but then I remembered how Alpha King Joey always has a lesson behind his actions. Yes, he humiliated me in front of hundreds of people. But Joey always stays true to his life rules, especially rule number 37. King Joey took me in as a child and taught me everything I know. He is sort of like Mr. Miyagi. You may not know why he puts you in certain situations, but that is what makes him Alpha King Joey. Grandpa Joey is a very wise man, and if you are a disciple of Apu, then you are a disciple of King Joey. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 1. Alpha King Joey always knows best. Now, Alpha King Joey will finish today's lesson.
I just wanted to clear up the situation between me and Apu. Now I know how it seems from the outside. But my little Apu means the world to me. I would never hurt him. Sometimes sacrifices need to be made for the greater good. And in this case, the greater good was me getting laid. If you love Apu, make sure to give Alpha King Joey a follow to learn daily rules to become an Alpha King.
Took mushrooms and tried to make love with a bear. And yes, I got mauled to death. Hey folks, I'm Apu. Now I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. One weekend in college, Grandpa Joey and I took a camping trip with a few of our friends. So we set up camp, took some mushrooms and just had a good time. Things ended up getting a little hot and heavy. Needless to say, Joey and I were enjoying ourselves. One thing led to another. I started heavily hallucinating and lost control over reality. I couldn't tell what was real or not. After coming in and out of consciousness, I walked up to someone and attempted to make love. Well, it wasn't a person, it was a bear. It didn't take long before I was mauled to death. Grandpa Joey did his best to save me, but it wasn't enough. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 436. Never take harmful substances. And if you encounter a bear, then don't try to make love with it. If I had listened to these rules that day, I would still be alive having a good time with Grandpa Joey. Stay safe out there, folks, and always learn from Apu's mistakes.
Me and Grandpa Joey will get revenge on Bendover. Hey folks, I am Apu. I'm sure you all have heard about this young kid named Bendover, claiming to do unspeakable things to me at a sleepover. He is also saying I wasn't able to sit down and kids at school were making fun of me. I am 43 years old. Why would I be going to school? And keep my uncle's name out of your mouth. He is one of my greatest role models. And you don't want to make him angry, because then you'll have to deal with him. You have already awoken a beast in me. You have no idea what you just did. You have only seen 1% of my powers. Maybe it's time I reveal who I truly am. Try to test me, I dare you. Trust me, little Benny. You're gonna have what's coming to you. Me and the Apu army are going to rule the world someday, while you watch it happen in front of your eyes. This leads me to Apu's life lesson, number 176. Always check your sources before believing what others say. This little Benny kid is a perfect example of that. I really hope I don't have to unleash even 5% of my power. Stay safe out there, folks.
Alpha King Joey lit his fart on fire and burned me to death. Hey folks, I am Apu. Grandpa Joey and I love to mess around and have a good time. However, sometimes it can get a bit dangerous. One day, we were fooling around when King Joey thought it would be a good idea to light our farts on fire. Before we started, we decided to go to Taco Bell to make the most out of it. Joey ate every item off the menu, so we went back to Joey's house, grabbed a lighter and had a bit of fun. At first it was completely harmless. He let out a couple of small toots that sparked some flames. That was until Joey wanted me to stand in front of it. I held up the lighter while he let out the loudest fart I have ever heard. I started screaming in agony and Joey grabbed the fire extinguisher, but by that time it was too late. I guess maybe we shouldn't have eaten Taco Bell before this. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 320. Never play with fire, folks. It can be very dangerous and ended up costing me my life. Stay safe out there, folks, and always learn from Apu's mistakes. Accidentally touch tips with Alpha King Joey. Hey folks, I'm Apu. You guys know how close me and Joey are. One night after we both blacked out, we headed back to my house to sleep. Since my wife left me, there was plenty of room in bed for Joey as well. So after a long night, we were both dead tired and hopped into bed. Well, it turns out we both like to sleep without any clothes on. We were both fast asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night to take a leak. I was horrified at what I saw next. I woke up from my slumber to see Alpha King Joey butt ass naked with our tips touching. Despite my scream, Joey was still in a deep sleep. I decided to leave it at that and swore to never tell him about that night. So I took my leak and hopped back into bed. This leads me to Apu's life lesson number 333. Never sleep in a bed with your friend without clothes on, because something absolutely horrifying might happen. I'll see you guys next life lesson, and make sure to never tell Alpha King Joey about this story. Stay safe, folks.